would like to welcome you all to the February 12th, 2025 meeting of the Richmond Township Board of Trustees. Would everybody please rise and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Here. Chuck Wagnerman.
Here.
Debbie LaFontaine. Here. Cindy Green.
Here.
Chris Brickle.
Here.
And Vern Coleman.
Here.
We're going to be doing Mr. Stewart's presentation at the March meeting. The next item on the agenda is presentation of agenda. I would like to ask for a motion to remove 4A, North Star Bank discussion. They decided they were not going to be able to come out this evening, but can come to the March meeting. And I would also like to ask to remove 16F, Workable Renewable Energy Ordinance. We were required to get an opinion from our attorney, and we did not get that, so we will be doing that also at the March meeting. So I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay. Public comment at this time? Is there any public comment on agenda items? No. Okay, we'll move on to the approval of minutes. Everyone have a chance to read over the board minutes for the January meeting. If so, a motion would be in order to approve the minutes as presented, or if you have an amendment.
I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Is there support?
No support.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. We have the building department report, EMS report, sorry about that, office administrator report, and the planning commission report. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, or if you'd like to pull something off, please notify me.
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Is there support for that?
I'll support it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is the financial reports. Kathy has submitted all of us our bills and our summary of the budget. Does anyone have any questions for the clerk on the bills?
Yeah, the one, just a clarification, you got it on here for the Washington elevator, $700 for, is that 50-pound bags of salt or 50?
You know, they really weren't definitive on their receipt, but I know it was a pallet full, so it was.
It's more than
I don't think it was 2 pallet. I wasn't there on the receiving part.
50, yeah, probably was a ton, it's 50-pound bag. I just, that's all.
A year's supply, Vern.
And then on the, just a question on the street lights.
Yeah.
Is that went way up?
I was just talking to Cindy about that. I've been watching it. It's climbing 100 a month, and the LEDs are supposed to save us money, but in the wintertime, the sun's not out as much,
Yeah.
so that's a little higher, but this is extremely high.
That's what I mean. It
So
seems
I'll go through and track it, and Cindy said we'll figure out who the contact and see what's going on.
Just have maybe explain to us, because that seems
it seems
a
like
bit
it's
much.
climbing.
I heard though that they took a huge hike and they're hitting like the businesses with it, so I don't know.
Okay.
I can inquire.
Any other questions? If not, a motion would be in order to approve the paid bills as presented.
So moved.
Is there support?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is the treasurer's report.
Okay, in the general fund, we have $1,875,351.48. In the tax disbursement account, we have $588,996.58. In the recreational funds, we have $453,149.76. In the investment account, we have $254,628.55. In the PPR account, we have $20,956.71. In other accounts, we $741.98, with a grand total of $3,224,825.06.
Are there any questions on the treasurer's report? Hearing none, the report will stand as presented, and treasurer will roll, please.
Yes, we do have a certificate that's coming due the end of February. It was a 18-month CD, and it was paying 4.10. Just like approval to reinvest that money.
How the exact?
It was $107,385.42.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to?
You put it, just roll it over into the same thing.
Well, I was gonna see, we probably will have to go a little bit lower because of the interest rates.
Oh, okay.
Same place though.
Same place, yeah. I can give you the rates there, let me look real quick. So, I mean, 7 months is 4%, and 12 months is 3.95. We really wanna put it kind of like where it was at. The 18 month is 4%, so we could do the same. So yeah, that'd be good, if that's okay with you. It was at an 18 month.
Yeah, if you don't think we're gonna need the money, I mean,
No, I don't think so.
I think, is that, well, that's not one there. I was wondering if that was one of the recreation, but it's not one there. We're good?
We're good with the
Okay.
bridges and the ditches, so
Okay.
that money was moved, but, I thought we always had a motion and support.
I was just gonna ask for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
to authorize the treasurer to reinvest that money.
Sorry, I didn't get your which bank is this?
North Star. Yeah, it's under investment accounts, and it's the first line, CD North Star Bank, it's 107,385.42. And I know we have a big balance in the general fund, North Star. I would like to put some of that into CD too. I mean, we can wait till we top two North Stars are coming in next month, or we can move some of that into a CD.
Can,
Try to make some money.
can you request something simple? On these different CDs, can you like next month put down where they're at, which bank they're at? Or are they all
they
at
are.
North Star?
They are, they're saying,
Just your maturity dates down here. It'd be nice to see what you have them up here.
yeah, they're all listed like, so like the first
Oh, I
one.
see they have the one asterisk, two.
Right,
I
for
see.
that. But then like the first one, it says funds at PNC, Fund North Star, First State Bank, PNC. I have them all listed.
she just got a preview.
I see you got the
Okay.
asterisks.
She just got a preview.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
just because there's not enough room on this paper, I guess I
Yeah.
could do 2 sheets, but I feel like that's harder to look at.
Well, first of all, I guess I would be looking for a motion to authorize the treasurer to reinvest that money at North Star.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Support.
Go ahead, discussion.
Just a little discussion. on that.
Yes,
What
please.
about taking the opportunity to meet with somebody in supervision there and offer what they offer you above deck rate? Usually they got a program because the balances are all over 250 that they can put in a rollover fund, and as part of their rollover fund, the rate can be higher than what would be advertised because of the gross amount of proceeds. I would go to them and ask them what they could do.
I can ask if they can go above what they send me. They send me rates every Monday, so, I mean, I can ask if they can give us a little bit more because of what we have.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Why not?
Won't hurt.
Another bank is being really quite aggressive locally. I like North Star, they're excellent. But Choice One is also excellent.
Okay.
And the gal that's in supervision over top of all the offices out of Grand Rapids, I can give you her number
Okay.
if you're interested.
Yes.
And they'll shoot you a rate over and above what's advertised at rate too.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Good. Okay, everyone has heard the motion and the support. We had a little discussion. Is there any further discussion?
So what are we directing Chris to do?
On this particular one, we're authorizing her to reinvest in one that's at 107. And then she's going to ask, from this discussion, she's going to ask if she can move, say, 250,000 from the general fund, or, and this would be either 250,000 or 500,000. That you know more about than I do, so I'm going to let you do that. But right now, we should vote on the first motion if we
Just
could.
the first, okay.
So if there's no other discussion on the first motion.
So she's gonna go ahead and put that money ahead and not really look into it like Chuck is saying.
I'm thinking, let me clarify, I'm thinking it'd be better if you have a chance to meet with both North Star and Choice One and show the gross amount that we got and ask them what they can do as a complete unit, because once you buy a CD with that, that money's tied up.
Yeah, that money's
Okay.
So that takes the negotiating part of that away.
Okay, so let me just hold off then on opening a CD. I'll get with Choice One and I'll get with North Star to see if they can, what else they can do, and then we'll go from there.
They're both excellent banks and give excellent service, and it'd be great if we could keep the money low.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Just don't let that money automatically roll into another CD. And sometimes if you don't tell them.
yeah, I have till February 26th, and I think we have like
Okay.
10 days.
Okay.
So,
All right, we should vote on this if there's no further discussion on this particular one. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. So you're going to contact them before we vote on moving the other money, correct?
okay.
Is that what you were thinking?
That was, I was thinking.
Okay,
Yes.
just want to make sure. Okay. Good. And I think that you now had another item.
Yes, I do.
approval of Richmond Community Schools tax collection.
Yes, we received a resolution from Richmond Community Schools Board of Education for the summer property tax levy that was adopted on December 9th of 2024. In the resolution, they're asking Richmond Township to collect 100% of the school tax levy for parcels in our township for the 2025 calendar year. I'm asking for approval from Richmond Township Board to collect 100% of summer 2025 tax levy for the Richmond Community Schools for the 2025 calendar year at per parcel cost of $2.
Could we get a motion to signify that?
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Support.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Great, thank you, Chris. Thank you. Next, we have farmland preservation.
Yes, we had our January meeting, we elected our officers for the year. They stayed the same. Candy Cook is chairman, Joe Jacena is vice chairman, Jonathan Yates is treasurer, and I, Vern Coleman, is recording secretary. Also at that meeting, our assessor, Chris, attended that meeting and did a seminar for us on assessment. Because we get points at the state level if we do educational programs. So I asked her if she would be willing to do that. And she come in and she probably did at least an hour or more. She did a really fantastic job. I think people really liked her being there. And it worked out kind of good because their company, I guess, has just taken over Ray Township. And the young gentleman that's going to be doing Ray was also there. So we got to, him to know everything. So she did I just wanted everybody to know she did an excellent job. And then we're having John Crone from the Michigan Department of Ag is coming out on March 6th at 7 o'clock at the Almeida Township to do a public presentation on the PDR program there. And that's open to the public. We're going to invite the public if anybody has any questions on how this program is being run and where it's at. So that's going to be March 6th at our meeting. I think it's going to be at the hall. It's either that or their senior citizen center. There'll be advertisements coming out. We'll keep you informed. Yeah. Other than that, and they are moving ahead. Jeff Schrader from the county is working on our 2 grants because state is calling for grants the 1st of March, and we have 2 applications going in, and he's working on those right now. And they'll be turned in within, I think, the 1st of March, they have to be turned in. And I don't know how long it'll be before the state makes a decision on those. And one of those pieces of property is in Richmond Township. So,
Yep, I know he reached out to me yesterday about having me sign the
oh,
letter, and so Lori got that ready for me, and
Yeah.
she'll send it over to him,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Anything else, Bert?
Nope, that's it.
Any questions for Bert?
I've run into 2 people that still, they're talking about Peter, they have no idea what it is.
Well, that's why we're kind of having John Cone come out, trying to advertise it more and get it out there. Yeah. So,
Okay. If you're all set, Bert, we will move
Yep.
on to the building department, or the building report.
Yes, ma'am. We're having an evening at the game, as you might imagine. The couple things to report on, our maintenance person was out a little bit earlier, and kind of trying to do some pre-salting, to help a little bit. The snow's falling pretty hard right now, so when everybody leaves the meeting, I'd ask you to just be a bit cautious. He's planning to be back at about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this morning, when is the schedule to kind of come to an end right now, and here as we can tell, and we should have everything ready if the town plans to conduct regular business tomorrow. Outside of that, the lights got completed, I think, since the last meeting.
They're great.
In front of the countertop there, and I know that the office staff, I think, is working on looking to see if the glass can be changed to a different
It's on the agenda tonight.
fiberglass
Yep.
that allows us to put a hole in it so they can hear more easily, from their side, when our residents come. Outside of that, I'm not aware of anything else going on in the building. Blood drive went well. That's been our last meeting. I think we ended up with about 40 total pints of blood, which was very good. Very certain.
Good. Good deal.
I think that's all I have to report on. Thank you.
Any questions for Jeff? Okay, we will move along to the assessor's report. Does anyone have anything for me to take back to Christine? Any questions? Hearing no questions, I just want to share something I shared with Kathy before the meeting I was in yesterday. And Christine said that, I don't know if you're aware that she does, I don't know if she does Lennox, I think she does Casco, or Columbus. She said that Richmond Township had far more splits in 2024 than Lennox and Columbus combined. She said it was crazy. So I guess that's good. She said her property values are good, and so that was good to hear. So I just want to share that. I know the board review is in March. We're going to set a different date later in the meeting. But if you have no questions, be all set. Library report. Do we have anything
I tried to print it off and I
to
couldn't print it off.
Okay, that's okay. NEMC is here as well. Recreation Advisory Board report. We will be having our Easter egg hunt on April 5th. It will start at noon. And thank you to Kathy, who pretty much just ran with everything. She got all the stuff ordered for it and got the flyers ready, and they'll be going out to the schools next week. Maybe no, a few weeks from now. So,
March 20th.
yep.
Thanks.
And we have a meeting next Wednesday night. Other than that, don't have much more to report. Unfinished business, there is none. New business, the first item under that is the approval of the Northwest Fire contract. If you would please come up to the podium. I did ask Chief Pratt, everyone has had a chance to look at the new proposed amount for the fire contract. It was quite a drastic reduction, and I was not sure how to explain it, so I'm very thankful to have him here. So I think if you could just go ahead and kind of review, and then if we have questions, we could ask you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Doug Pratt, Chief of Memphis Fire Department. I presented a new contract to Richmond Township for their approval. Little history to start the explanation. Back 10, 12 years ago, our current chief at that time switched from doing run percentages to fixed percentages for each of our contracts to determine what percentage of the contract each township in the city would be paying. That worked for a while because the percentages never really changed a lot. But over the past 10, 12 years, they have changed a lot. We've changed coverage areas, we've changed number of runs, we've changed personnel size, so those run percentages changed. This coming year, I have one contract that I still gotta get worked on, that's with one of the other townships. So we decided to go back to the 5-year run averages. Doing that, Richmond Township used to pay 20% of our budget. With the new 5-year run averages, we are paying 9.6% of the budget. So cut it in half, more than in half.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you go down, that means someone else goes up. And City of Memphis and Riley Township went up with their percentages, but they already had signed contracts with us. So to keep their contracts at or below what we signed with them, I had to reduce our budget. And that went down by, I think, $46,000 for the upcoming year. So you guys made out like bandits. Between the reduction in run averages and the reduction in budget, your contract for the upcoming year went from $51,045 to $19,412. So I'm just asking you to sign for that, sign the revised contract.
Does anyone have any questions for the chief?
Or any fire questions in general?
So has your runs went down considerably?
Yeah.
Overall?
In the past 2 years, we've gone down 100 runs from almost 400 to 238 last year.
So over the next 5 years, we will be considered only 9%? Or every year do you?
I recalculated.
Recalculate every year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of a fair way to do it.
Yeah.
It's the fairest way to come up with. I mean, you could come up with scenarios of all different ways to calculate the percentages, but that seems to be the easiest one to for people to understand.
We like it. Yes, we did. If there are no other questions for chief?
Do you have any trouble with manpower? Are you able to fill all your positions? Or?
Everyone has trouble with manpower. We're at 14 people right now, which is down. It's tough to get people to make the commitment.
Yeah. How many would you like to have?
We used to be up around 25 at one time. So I do have a person that works at the station every day now from 7:30 to 3:30 to cover calls there. I'm the only one on the department that's retired and around during the day, so I was doing a lot. I was the fire department for quite a bit. It got to the point where I wasn't able to do anything, so we hired this person to do that. One other update for you. Our current engine is 26 years old. I pointed out to City Council that it's eligible for antique plates now. So. We have a new one that's coming in August to replace that. So.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
Great.
very exciting. 2-year wait to have that built.
Yep. It's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that one paid for?
We have enough money in our equipment replacement fund to pay for it.
Paid for.
Barely.
Not good.
Chris, you have anything? Kathy?
Yeah.
Okay. If there are no other questions then, a motion would be in order to approve the contract between the City of Memphis and Richmond Township for fire coverage for fiscal year 2025-2026 in the amount of $19,412 and to authorize Clerk LaFontaine and Supervisor Gray to sign.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support? Is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, and we have that right here.
If you don't mind, I have to run, it's training night.
Thanks for being here so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the nickel and SAP contract renewal. We have had nickel and SAP as our liability insurance carriers for, I could not remember how long yet, you know, it's been at least 10 years.
Say more than 15.
Yes, and they have always provided exceptional service. So what we need is just a motion to approve the payment in the amount of $22,748 to nickel and SAP insurance for the 2025 coverage.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Next is the approval of Resolution 2025-02, Board Review Alternate Date. Our assessor has presented us with a resolution to move the date that is generally the state of Michigan requires that the Board Review organizational initial meeting be on the second Monday of March. Due to the lack of availability of enough board members, she has asked to move it to March 12th, 2025. So I'm looking for a motion to approve Resolution 2025-02.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Fourth.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is the library liaison position. Last month I was not here at the meeting, but I did put on the agenda the approval of the boards and commissions roster. And part of my memo covering that was to add that Elaine Armstrong be allowed to continue on as the liaison for the library. Elaine had talked to me about doing this and said she really felt that was a good thing for her to do. She'd been involved in the library for a while. She wrote a letter. I recommended that she was paid $50 a month for this. She has to go to the meeting, she starts a meeting with them, she goes to most of the fundraisers with them, and it was not acted out last month. So I have brought it back. I've talked to most of the board members, and I wanted to make it clear also to the public that Elaine Waterstad did not ask for any money. That was totally a thought I had. She just was willing to do it. She was willing to do it because it meant that much to her. She had a good relationship with the librarian. That is her job, her day job. She's a librarian at St. Augustine School. So she was a pretty good person to do that job. And we also did get a letter from the librarian at the Lois Wagner Memorial Library stating how much she appreciated Elaine. So I have recommended that we pay her $25 a month as a stipend. Did mention that we do collect a 1% administrative fee on the library millage, and that was, I think, the better part of $700 last year, so that would cover it. So I would look for a motion to approve Elaine Waterstad as the Richmond Township Library Liaison and to approve a stipend of $25 a month.
I'll make the motion that I'd like to change. Can I do that? I think we should leave it at $50, because we're taking the money in anyways. What is that money taken in?
Yeah, that's an admin fee, and I don't think he necessarily has gone to anything in particular in the past. Brought it up just to kind of note that we didn't have money from collecting that particular millage that we could tie that to a library expense if we wanted to.
I just think that when we've got people, residents that will come in and help us do these jobs, I think we need to, reward them somewhat. And the more people we can get involved, I think the better off we are. So I'll make the motion that we keep it, but we make it $50.
Okay, do we have a support for that motion?
I'll support that.
Is there any further discussion?
I feel that, we have another committee here at the township that they're only getting $25 per meeting. And they have to be here at the meeting and making decisions and going to events and they're only getting $25 a meeting. I feel that $25 for the liaisons, I don't think she should make more than that.
Can I speak a little
Sure.
on that?
Yeah.
At some point, their duties are going to be going out as well, but they are also a commission of 5 people. Liaisons, 1.
Yeah, but they still have to come to the meetings.
And she does. She goes monthly.
She doesn't have to, it's her choice, which is great, it's great. This other committee, they have to come to these meetings, you know what I mean? They have to go to the events, they have to make decisions. She's not a decision maker. And I just don't feel that it's right that we have a committee that has to go to these meetings and make decisions at events. If we have,
Then maybe we should out there.
maybe.
I'm not against that.
I'm not
So-
against it either.
We could then take a vote on this motion and someone could move back if they wanted to.
Well, our budget meeting's coming.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Our budget meeting's coming up, we can discuss it then.
But we can still approve
Yeah.
the original motions. on the
Right,
floor.
we have to make a decision on this motion tonight.
I just feel, I'm not one for spending money either, but in today's world, $25 is not a lot of, I don't want to speak ill of that, but it's not a lot of money anymore. And I just, $50 is, really not a lot either anymore. Hate to say that, but it's true. So that's just why I feel that way. If you want to raise the other ones, I'm not against that.
Okay, is there any further discussion on the motion on the table? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay, motion is carried. Next item is discussion of cleanup day. I know this seems very early. I was trying to remember when we usually discuss this, but I thought I looked back on the agendas and I feel like it was right about now that we picked at least a weekend and then I can try to get a hold of the people and talk to Priority Waste and get all that stuff lined up for that day. So in looking back, I think it was probably the first Saturday in October. Does that sound right, you guys? I missed the last one.
It's
so-
either that or the end of September, somewhere in there, yeah.
So we just gave you the October. Do you want us to go look for a September?
No, it
calendar?
doesn't
No?
matter to me.
It would be October 4th. Is anybody opposed to it being that day?
No.
No? And what time was it usually to and from? Like, was it an 8 to 12 or?
Yeah, it was something, I think it was 8 to 12. Yeah, before we always did kind of a spruce up day around here, but the last time we didn't, did we?
No, we didn't.
No, because there's really nothing, now that we've kind of gotten rid of the
Mulch.
mulch and stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty good here.
Me too.
Yeah.
And where you usually have,
Yeah, hopefully I can get people to
Can
help.
you-
I mean, their lives are constantly changing too, so.
and it's a ways away.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
okay,
but I'll look into it.
I don't really need a motion on that, but I wanted
Yeah.
just to know if everybody agreed that October 4th would be an okay day, and 8 to 12 would be the time, and then I'll make some phone calls, and hopefully we'll have a report for you at the next meeting. All right, the next item on the agenda, then, we took the workable ordinance off, would be the discussion of the cost for the zoning board of appeals. Kathy and Lori and Chairman Stewart we're talking about our current cost for a zoning board of appeals meeting, and I did break it down there. The average cost is going to be $415 for a meeting, and we currently charge $400. And I don't remember it ever being, I just remember it being at $400 for a long time. And so their recommendation is, they did do some research, and you'll see with the attachment, we're currently the lowest in our area. The next highest is Columbus they are recommending we raise it to $800. So I'm going to go ahead and open discussion on this. Any thoughts?
I thought we was only raising it to 4, so.
$800 sounds like an awful lot of raises on that.
Where would you go?
500
It would cover our costs.
covers our cost.
Yeah.
Does it cover that ad?
So I did sit with Lori. I had 2 ZBA members at $50 each and chairman at $60. And the recording secretaries at $2 right. I put $200 for a public notice ad. That's, I would feel about average. Once in a while, you're gonna run into something that's long, but I think on average, 200 would be right. And then mailings at $15, because it's within 300 feet. It's not often will you get more than, say, 30. So, and you counted, there were 16. So at 73 cents a letter, it was like $12 or something. So for $4.15, I feel that's a pretty good average. I would say we could use that as an average. So,
So what are we doing?
well, look, he's recommending we just go to 500 instead of raising it to 800.
Do what?
Raise it to 500.
5. How is that gonna break down?
Well, that would, if we're at 415 right now,
Yeah.
you know, unless there is a huge jump in mailing costs or the cost of publication.
How are you gonna break this down per member?
Oh, well, they're the same that they're getting now, and even if we were to give them a raise during budget time, we'd have the extra $85 in there, and for 3 members, we're probably not gonna give them $30 fees.
Because I just feel that the recording secretary should actually get the same as the members. They're getting $50 each.
Mhm.
I think she should get, or he or she should get $50. That's all I'm saying.
So you would change that?
Yeah, that's the only part I would change. I agree with Chuck that it's, to jump up that much is quite a bit.
Okay.
You know, I think that's, you know.
Chris, how do you feel about
I
that?
agree, doubling it might be a little bit too much right now, you know.
You know,
How do you feel about 500?
That 500, 600.
well, according to everybody else, it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, Columbus Township's at 500, and then we go to Riley, which is at 625. But 500 will cover the average cost. Yeah,
The only thing I was thinking about is that where we came up with that figure, we're close to the other communities with the price. And when you go for a ZBA, you're always trying to vary against our ordinances, so I don't like to encourage that. We're spending
Right.
so much money to have ordinances,
Right.
have our planner and enforce it. And it becomes easy, it just makes it harder here. If you're gonna be spending more here on us, then, you know what I mean? You're-
yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
And that was the way that's where I was
and
coming from.
and I do remember now that you say that,
We'll have
Mr.
more-
Stewart did.
We probably would have more engineering costs, more planner costs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Lori's time into it, I mean, just because she gets the recording time, she's behind the scenes planning and zoning for hours, figuring it all out, going back and forth.
But we haven't had too many DPAs, have we? We've been pretty
We're
good.
having a lot of them.
We do?
Yeah, we have one next week, no, March 12th.
Oh, yes, okay.
I didn't really up for the total year.
Last year we had one, so far this year we'll have one. We have someone in there.
I just feel it's important that we're user friendly. We try to watch all the other expenses, and in all fairness, I think we're to watch our expenses when you look at theirs. You know, I don't think we can't compare to Lennox Township when they get how many $1 million a year to put in their budget and all these others. I'd be a lot more comfortable staying at that 500.
Yeah.
If we see it's not gonna work, we can always revisit.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was looking from the ordinance standpoint.
If no one has any other suggestions, then I'm going to entertain a motion for that, to set the ZBA fee at raise it to $500.
Do you need a motion?
I do need a motion.
So moved.
Is there support?
I'll support it.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in, go ahead, please.
Can I amend my motion? I want to make the recording secretary to get 50 like the membership. I just think she's probably the most, that person's almost the most important person.
Okay. You certainly can add that to your motion.
They get 60 though, don't
And it says here they get 40,
I
they? Oh,
don't
the
know.
recording secretary?
Yeah.
recording
I
secretary.
thought you
The
wanted
chairman
same
gets
as
60,
members.
and the other two members get 50.
50, so he wants the recording secretary to get 50. So I need a support for his amendment.
Support it.
Okay, great. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the front office plexiglass partition replacement. Jeff was talking about that earlier. When we had this put in, it was at coded, and it changed the way we did business, as did many other businesses at that time. Well, I was in here one day, and I was watching the ladies in the office having to bend down and talk to everybody, because we only have an opening at the bottom, and you can't hear it. Tom, come home, he would say the same thing. So in early January, I asked Kathy if she would reach out and get a couple of prices for people to just put a new hole in the plexiglass. They can't do that. They have to get a whole new plexiglass. So she got an estimate from Richmond Glass. It was in the amount of $1,625.71. And then yesterday, she did get one from Henderson Glass, which was $2,909. So my recommendation is that we go ahead with the purchase of the new plexiglass from Richmond Glass, and that we take that money from our general fund balance. And the amount is $1,625.71.
Do we have to pay sales tax?
No.
I see in this quote here, they got $93.60 in sales tax.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
what
we taxed.
yeah.
Usually though, you always, I have to correct a lot of people, go back and correct. Hold on.
Okay, Sharon,
No.
No whispering.
what's going on?
I was just asking, does she agree that it's a problem? You agree, Kathy, that it's a problem?
Absolutely. We were hoping that they could just cut a hole
Right,
yeah.
and make our lives easier, and they said it would shatter the whole glass. So the whole new replacement needed to be done.
Yeah. Yeah,
And thank you for your help on that.
No problem.
it's kind of a live and learn thing.
So is it gonna be like a round?
We're gonna have the same bottom hole to feed documents through like we have, and then about a 6-inch diameter hole about 6 inches above that. So you'll be face to face. They did
No bending
offer,
over.
what's that?
And no bending over, yeah.
Right, you just be able to, it'll carry through now. They also quoted us a speaker system that could go in that hole at
It was ridiculous.
$100, and then that's, now you're blocking the view of somebody. So we're just going with the,
I'm just,
that was crazy to me. But anyway, I know they were thinking microphone bank type situation, and that was just really,
I think the new plexiglass will serve the purpose and make it more efficient.
yeah. And the light, with the lights, it's
Lights are great.
perfect.
They're really nice.
Thank you for that.
Okay, can I get a motion to go ahead and approve purchasing that and having it installed?
What's the total?
$1,625.71 to be taken from the general fund balance.
I'll make that.
Okay. Is there support for that motion?
It's enough.
Okay. Christopher,
Thank you.
I'm gonna wait just a minute. I know everybody's sure looking for it. We've got a motion and support. It's okay, it's not a problem at all. Do you need another question?
He didn't have that.
Fine.
Oh, the other
I
quote
was
is,
just trying to find it for him.
and I'll let you look at that for me before we go.
Sorry.
Thank you for nothing, no.
So that's got $73.91 in sales tax too.
So-
So this is actually gonna be about 15,
What is it, 1620 with?
571 minus 73.91.
All right, let's see what this is. So it's gonna be 1551.80. Good catch, thank you. So I would need, then we have that motion and if
Yeah,
the amount would be
I
15.
agree.
Okay, and you're going to support that?
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right.
Okay, all right, is there any further discussion? No? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, and the last item on the regular agenda is regarding public hearing notices. We have, there has been some concern lately regarding the outreach and the communication from Richmond Township with our public hearing notices. We have to put our thinking cap on about this. We looked at, the suggestion was to have us mail each and every household a public notice for each public notice. And the cost for that, when I figured in the postage, the envelopes, the time it would take the girls, came up to about $11,000 a year to do that. Then I looked at purchasing a bulk mail permit, and with that, it went down to about $6,500 a year. So let me just state for the record that we have always done what is required by law of our public noticing. I reached out on both the clerk's website, their blog, and the supervisors, and I asked the communities how many of them have a big crowd for their public hearings. I wanted to know, because the thought here that I was hearing was that we don't have anyone here because we don't put it out there. So there were communities with 20,000 people in them that never had a person show up. Not one. So we talked about something we could do to make an effort to improve it without breaking the bank. We do have constant contact, and that is one of the first things that you see on our website when you open up in the bottom right-hand corner. That's a service that costs us, I think, $300 a year, something like that. And what it does is when you sign up, you get these notifications pushed to you. So if there's a meeting coming up, you get a notification. If there's a special event coming up, you're going to get that. So we had talked about the possibility of a one-time mail to everyone in the community, 1,198 parcels that have residences on them, with a letter in it that said, if you'd like to receive all public notices moving forward, please sign up for this service. So that way, everyone will be notified that they'll be able to do it. It will be up to them if it's really important to them. They will have the opportunity to do so. You are in charge of that. The clerk has agreed that she's more than happy to have all her public notices pushed out on that. So I think we've come up with a solution to try to make it better without spending as much money. So because I think it's going to cost over $1,000 to do this, I need a motion approving this action and authorizing the expense.
At our office, we use constant contact multiple times a week. We have very good luck with that. I think we have roughly 30,000 people on it that's dealt with us in the last 2 years in the sale. And we can't say enough good things about it.
For the cost.
And it's instant. And if something comes out and you need to make a correction, you can instantly
Yep.
correct it. And that's what's nice about it. I don't know the better thing out there.
I'll make the motion.
Awesome. Is there support?
Support, I'll support it, yeah.
I like it. Is there any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Motion is carried. Great job. Okay. Items for next agenda. We will hopefully have Mr. Stewart's proclamation and his presentation at the next agenda. Hopefully, we will get the legal opinion from Sharon regarding the workable ordinance, and we will have that on the next else? Okay. Next, we have call to the board. I'm going to start with you, Vern.
Well, was you gonna talk about this, the ditching thing? Were you gonna
The
bring-
meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah, why don't you bring it up?
okay. You know, when we doing the ditches, Senator McLean had come to us a while ago about having funding for that. So, kind of coinciding with that, Don Brown is now running that portion of for
Yes.
Candace Miller, the same thing that Dan Accavetti was doing before. And we had scheduled a meeting, or Cindy had scheduled a meeting with him for February the 11th here at
24. He changed, so he changed to the 24th at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it's now the 24th at 1 o'clock. But as me and Cindy were talking, I know Charlie has an interest in this. And all three of us can't meet unless we make it a regular meeting. So that's what we're recommending to do, so all of us can attend. And he will, then we're also going to invite Candy Gorky to do, and invite them guys to come in and kind of go over this. Because we do have, if we can get this funding from Senator McLean that she's talking, we can probably do all of our county drains here in the next
You know what?
very short period of time, a lot sooner than what we thought. So I guess we really don't need a motion or anything. We
No,
just,
we should. If we're going to set a special meeting, we need a motion to set a special meeting on February 24th at 1 p.m.
okay.
Yep. That way we can all come. It'll be legal. It's a Monday.
It's,
Yeah.
I will make that motion.
Okay, do we have support?
support.
Any discussion? No? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. That'll be good, then we can all be here. And we can all hear what they have to say. Hopefully Mr. Goyke can get here too, and move us along.
1 o'clock.
Okay, Vern, do you have anything else?
Yes, is anybody planning on attending the thing for the EMS at the county?
I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the thing that the school is doing, the meetings with the superintendent? No, they're having 3 different meetings. That some of us should attend or try to attend. It's 3 different meetings. I mean, they just want our input.
Good.
Or just go there and listen. I'll probably, I don't think I can do the 18th. I don't know if I can do the Tuesdays because I got enough other meetings that night, but I can do the Monday, the 8th, the 21st, I think.
Up to February.
Oh, no, it's April. This is coming down, yeah. There's one in February, the 18th, a Tuesday, and there's March 18th, a Tuesday, and there's Monday, the 21st, which is, what else is there? I don't, oh, just an update to you. I did the liquor inspections for this month because Joe Ryan has had knee surgery and he's really not doing too good. So he wasn't able to go out and do them, and I'll probably have to do them in February too. So just to let you know what's going on with that. I think that's all.
Okay. Chris?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay. Kathy?
Hey, one other thing. And I'm going to revisit the ZBA again.
Okay.
Only because I know the fees, we have them wrong. So the ZBA members, the construction board of
Appeals.
appeals, planning commission, all get $60 an hour, chairperson gets 65, not an hour.
Okay,
60
I
a
mean-
meeting, 65 for the chairperson.
So that's
And
another
then the
25.
right, and the board of review is the only one that gets 50, but they, for half a day, 100 for a full.
So if you add the 25 to the 415, we're at 440.
And it's been like that for about
I know,
10
and that's,
years.
and I feel like we made that motion to not raise it more than 500. I'd like the opportunity, as we're sitting here tonight, to revisit it in 6 months
Sure.
and see if we're, because I feel like when you guys talked to me about this, the concern was people are coming whether they really should or not, that it's so inexpensive to come that they're just thinking, I can spend $400, you know what I mean? So I think we'll do 500 and then maybe we can revisit and see if we should change it, and if not, we won't.
So then, Vern's amended motion to pay
The same as the board members.
the same as the board
Yeah,
members,
that's
and
the
just leave
motion.
it, so it'll be 60,
Yeah.
it'll be 60 for everybody. Or whoever takes
No, it'd be
it.
50.
She just told us that they make
No,
60.
they make 60,
Oh,
yeah.
so that's incorrect.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that.
Yeah, but see, we're going back here. But I kind of agree with Chuck, like, it's not our job to be defensive against our people either.
Right.
We have to
Correct.
allow them to have that
Correct.
opportunity to say, hey, I don't agree with you guys, or I got a hardship here, so, yeah.
And in an affordable manner, also. And then looking at when you're having 1 or 2 a year, I don't see an abuse to that. That's,
Yeah.
if we had 20 a year, it'd take a second.
I was neither against it
Right.
or it, I was just
Fixing.
Yeah.
coming from the
Right.
planning and zoning department view of.
Yeah.
ordinance and stuff.
6. If it looks like we need to, no. I mean, you can only have one more this year, right?
Right.
But yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I,
Good?
yeah,
Okay,
okay,
good. Chuck, do you have anything?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You sure can. You can have mine. Look, she's passed hers off.
Looking at Jeff's report for the senior citizens, we get hardly nobody from Richmond ever going there. Is that something we have to do? I'm not saying we should end it, but it just seems like,
I feel like if we don't, they're gonna want their money back.
yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm
DOT,
saying,
that's our
that's what I'm
plan.
wondering. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
yeah.
Right, is that what you're gonna say?
My recollection, Mr. Supervisor, is that when you agree to use CDBG funds to renovate a building, then you are obligated to use it for that purpose. And it goes in an item, there's not like an end date, like after 20 years, you don't have to use it for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, when we renovated that building and used for a senior center, we took CDBG funds to do that. And so it has to remain a functioning senior center. We can continue to use it in some other, assets for Parks and Rec, but we do need to keep a senior program running. Otherwise, we would be on the hook for the few $100,000 in CDBG funds we took to do the renovation at that time.
And I'm personally aware of someone that,
So,
Didn't behave.
so I would suggest we, keep something going. We've got to pare down to just a couple of days a week. That building, unfortunately, the cost really doesn't have to do with having the seniors in there. The cost has to do with that's an old building, and even renovated, utilities and things for it are very high in cost. So some of it's just that related cost and upkeep. A suggestion, maybe, if I could be so bold to offer, if we're doing a mailing anyway, to all
Great idea.
1,100 households in the community, would there be room on that mailing to put something about our senior program on there? Because we certainly, we put it out on social media and other things where we can, but, and probably we could, again, thinking out loud, work with the team in the office here to get out the meetings on constant contact. When I get all the meeting
That'd be
notices, I think we could get out the meeting notices, and I'll have, it's already have my staff work tomorrow or the next day with the office staff, and just they can put the meeting notices and go out on constant
Cool.
contact. But we have to get the seniors
Yeah,
In there.
sign up for it and that to actually work for us. So I think maybe together that those things could work, I'll let the board decide for sure if they'd like to do that. Just a couple suggestions I have for trying to at least make sure the seniors know it's paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of figured that was the position that we had.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
Okay. No, it's okay, I saw you looking at your book, I'm like, yeah, I've already got, you gotta do that.
Gotta keep looking at my little book here, forget.
Well, I getcha. Okay, we referred to the new can lights that were installed earlier, and now we will have the plexiglass, and it will be much more efficient in there. And again, thank you for all your work on that. I finally got the application for the funding that Bert was referring to earlier, so that's a plus. I started working on that earlier today. We want to congratulate Mr. Goike for being appointed to the vacancy for the commission position. And again, you mentioned the EMS thing was February 20th at 3 p.m. And I talked about in here, number 6, in my supervisor's update, about appointing a committee to discuss the infrastructure of the township. And Trustee Kreitman was in yesterday, and we did talk about that, and he said he was talking to someone, and the engineer at the county already has that all set, so I'll be reaching out to him just so we have that in our office. So that will obviously save some time there. On the final note on there was Kathy Pace and I, mostly Kathy, but I looked at it a few times and whatever. I've been working on updating our permits, so I think that would be a good thing. Next item on the agenda is the general public comment. Please come up to the podium and state your name.
Hi, I'm Stacy Van Oaks, and I'm a Republican precinct delegate, and you're a resident, concerned resident. I just wanted to update on Public Act 233, the wind and solar, a few things that are happening in regards to that. So one thing is our neighboring St. Clair County is kind of going at this in a unique way, is their health department is, I believe, about to pass some kind of a, I don't think it's a resolution because it'll be binding, but if the health department would actually get to approve or not approve solar installations due to a public health risk. So, like you taught me, some people have to wait and see what's going to happen with it, if it's going to pass, and if it's going to hold up. But I have one copy of their resolution, but the guy that wrote it is, he's really, it's very cleverly done and really makes a lot of sense. So it seems like a good angle to me. But, so then they gave me the idea though that I wonder what Macomb County is doing in regards to Public Act 233. I don't know, I never thought of it before, but I reached out to Ken Goike, our new commissioner, and just asked him, was he familiar with this, or did he know had the county done anything, or was planning to do anything? He doesn't think that they have done anything yet. He's going to look into it more. I told him about St. Clair County, what they're doing, and he's got a friend in the health department there, so he was going to check on that. I don't know if Macomb would do, if we could get done anything like that, but he thought that at least if maybe he could bring up a resolution and get Macomb County that we would kind of get some support. And it's mostly his district.
Right, for sure.
Be affected it, so we're like the only ones out here. So anyway, I thought that would be positive, and
Okay.
I'm going to talk to him about that some more. And then the appeal, the lawsuit, is they had kind of not a setback, but people were disappointed because the Court of Appeals made a procedural decision to deny the motion for a stay pending appeal of, what they're appealing. And they denied it, so nothing really changed. Everything's going to effect, basically. But the appeal is still moving forward, and there's not been a final determination on that yet. And I guess my question is, and I really don't know, but we had thought we would all benefit if this appeal went through. Because the way I understand is there was a township that had zoning for where they could have solar in their township. And the MPSC came in and said, no, we can put it wherever we want. And that's the appeal, is because the lawyers in the township felt that that was the state really overstepping. And so if we do not have zoning, I don't know that we would benefit if the appeal goes our way. So
For sure.
Master plan and zoning for it. So, you know, that's all I know is going on right now. But I appreciate talking, you know, being able to communicate and keep in touch. And I really appreciate the idea of the letter going out to everybody to invite them to the constant contact. But if meetings are currently being pushed out that way, I'm not getting them. And I get signed up several times. So I did get a notice about the church dinner.
Okay.
But I don't know if there was a notice that went out about the meeting. Like, I haven't gotten anything.
It's okay, we will double check with Kathy to make sure you're on there. Okay?
Do you know, there's two bills in the legislature,
That might take back control, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about those.
I don't know either, but I know they're out there, and I didn't know if you know the status of them or not.
Well, I think they've been written.
Yeah,
And I don't know that the governor, you know.
well, except, yeah, if they'll ever come.
We have to change the leadership in Lansing.
Yeah, mhm, yeah.
That's a priority.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Okay, hearing no other comments, a motion to adjourn.
So move.